Hello YouTube, and welcome back to another guide tutorial for Dust2. This is gonna be the last tutorial I make for Dust2 in a while, since I'll be leaving the map and going back to a new map, or just continuing on with a new map. This video is gonna be about afterplants. And what is an afterplant situation? Well, afterplant situation is when you plant a bomb. And after you have planted a bomb, you have a situation. And why do we need afterplants? Because if you don't have an afterplant, you're gonna be screwed. You're gonna be fucked. So you need to be aware of how to position yourself after the bomb has been planted. So what can we do about the bomb being planted? And how should we position ourselves? I'm going to show you some suggestions. Now, I'm not saying that these is gonna work every time, but I'm saying that these are definitely some ways that you want to put them. These can be very effective, and these can be very, very useful to you. And they're very, very simple, and there's an explanation to why you should position yourself like this. Now, remember and pay attention to that this is also team wise, like this is team based. These positions are team-based, or at least based on the fact that you're able to give communication or be able to communicate with your team. So don't mute yourself before a face-it puck and expect everyone to know what you're doing. But without further ado, let's get on with it. The first afterplant I'm going to show is on B side. B side is pretty open. There's window, there's door, and like there's you know, it's kind of obvious what you need to hold on this side. You need to hold tunnels, you need to hold the door, and you need to hold window. It's really hard for the CTs to come in, even though it's open. What do I mean with open? Like, you can throw flashes over, you can rush in at multiple places at the same time. The bomb site is not really that big, but at the same time, if you know how to counter-attack these sky flashes and these positions and how people are rushing in and all these kinds of things, this map or this site is really not that hard to hold down in an afterplant situation. So what I want to do when I'm holding B side after I plant the bomb is I want to be able to hold tunnels, I want to be able to hold door, and I want to be able to hold window. But at the same time, I want to be able to control only one spot at a time, which means that if I am holding something, I do not want to get killed from something else. So my favorite afterplant, this requires 3 players. 3 players. You're gonna have a guy underneath window. You're gonna have a guy in new spot here, and you're gonna have a guy on plateau. It could be the upper. It doesn't really matter as long as you have people that can, you know, resist the opponents somehow or just prevent them from pushing in. Why would I like to hold this like this? And like, what's the benefits of this afterplant situation? Well, if you have a guy under window, and you very often see this guy standing here somewhere, you could vary it. You could stand here, you could be here, you could be just, you know, find new places to hold window from. He is going to hold window, like, every round when you have this afterplant situation, if you get the B side. So, he's gonna be under window, somewhere where he cannot get killed from tunnels, somewhere where he cannot get killed from doors, and this is obviously the best place to be. This is a good place as well. So you see, you don't get killed from tunnels, you don't get killed from door, and you can hold window. So being around under window like this is really good. You could be here sometimes as well. The only thing that's like really, the only thing you need to be worried about is tunnels, and that they can be rushing indoor and they can flash your teammates, and then you won't expect them to kill you if you don't get if you are not getting that accurate information. So I would like to place my guy here. The other guy which I placed on car. Why would I want to place him here? He's kind of screwed if they throw a Molotov here. They're kind of like, he's kind of screwed if they do anything that makes this guy isolated in some way. But this is a really effective way to both hold door, to assist window, and to be able to listen to tunnels. So this is the golden spot in this afterplant situation. You're able to hear tunnels, you're able to kill the guy who comes through those doors, and you're able to assist the guy who's holding window. And last but not least, the guy, of course, who is supposed to hold tunnels. And again, pay attention to this. You don't want to be killed from both window and doors. But if you back off and you just stand like here somewhere in this corner, you won't be killed from either door or window. And once again, if they have problems holding window and door, you can easily go out there and assist them. It's not really that big of a deal, because again, you're far away from tunnels, and he has to be like, this super one-tap scream fanboy to get that kill on you, or just have, the time of his life shooting headshots. So it's a really good afterplant to be having this triangle set up, as I call it. You have these three players who can, work with each other, and being effective and impactful for each other as well. So this is a really good afterplant situation. This is one I like. I have another suggestion for an afterplant situation, is that you get a few people in here, maybe one or two. If you have 4 people left, you get a guy on Xbox, and you get a guy on Plateau here. We call this setup, we call it backline setup. We had like a line here, like a perfect line here, people that could help each other, no matter where they were. So this is another way to do it. To just make sure that you have this backline set up, and you have a few people that's still in tunnels, so you have to make this work, And if you have a guy who's like around Xbox here or big box, you can have him cover window, and you can have this guy on backside to just cover doors. And this is like really good, and this is kills that you could get pretty easily, and train yourself to get these kills every time. So yeah, I really like these afterplants. They work. At least I really enjoy them when they work, and when I see people actually executing them, it actually works. On A side, on the other hand, it's a bit more simple. Nah, not really simple, but still, you gotta have a plan. So if you have like a really strong control on short, if you have people on short, for example, it's not really that hard to plan for short. So if you plan for short, you want to find a place that's really open and really obvious for the guys who's holding short. If you have a guy in pit, or if you have a guy in long, you would want to plant for pit, of course, so that he can stand in pit, which is a really hard place to get picked off. If you have trouble holding short and that you still have long, you should try to plant somewhere where he can still see the bump somewhere, and which cannot get you killed from short A. And if you have other suggestions or other plans with the bump, like if you're really isolated, for example, and they're both pushing from CD spawns, from long A and from short, you want to try to just plant somewhere safe. But the important thing about A side is that when you get this retake going on, this afterplant situation going on, you really want to make sure that you get that bomb plant, and you plant it and call out what you're planning the bomb for. If you're planning for long A, if you're planning for pit, if you're planning for plateau over there, and if you're planning for short, or if you're planning for CT, you just gotta call it out. And that way it's not really that hard to make an afterplant situation going on, because you have goose where you can be, and you have pit, you have plateau, you have ramp, which is a really sick place, and you can hide on this side as well. If they're pushing up on side, they won't really notice you if they push on side. If you have a short thing going on and they're on site, and the bomb is planted for short, it's like not really that hard to train yourself to just throw a Molotov and make sure that bomb gets burned, and that you don't really need to worry about people defusing the bomb. So there's various places and ways to hold down a bomb plant. The most important thing is that you make sure to plant for the most obvious the most obvious place on this on the bump side, which can benefit your team the best. So if you have a really strong long control, you should plan for long. If you have a really good short control, you should plan for short. If they're pushing and you're like in a disadvantage, if you're maybe 2 against 4 or 2 against 3, you should try to isolate and plant safe. And just call out that it's a shit plant, or just call out that you need to plant safe because people are trying to kill you. If you plant, for example, here, this is a goose plant. Like, basically, this is the single box on site, and you can only see the bump from goose. So I would call this goose plant or single box plant. And that way, if you can isolate yourself and you can plant here and you can get the goose before they actually push you, it could be a good thing. If you still have a smoke, it's perfect and beautiful. You can put a smoke down here and they have to worry about you hiding in the smoke first before doing anything else. So just buy your team some time or try to win the round playing the time. So A is not really that hard to, you know, try to comprehend how to play A side retake or I mean afterplant, sorry. You just gotta plant and, you know, plant the obvious way and just try to afterplant it from there. So I hope you liked this video and that you would either like my opinion or subscribe or whatever. I'm gonna make tons of videos for you guys. I'm gonna make videos for Mirage, I'm gonna make videos for Overpass, I'm gonna make videos for Inferno, Train, everything. It's gonna be crazy, it's gonna be nuts. I'm gonna make so many videos and eventually they're gonna get better and eventually I'm gonna learn more things and upload more videos. So it's entirely up to you guys. Hope you liked it. See you guys. See you guys in the next video.